9:03 विवेक और निकिता आपके साथ है and yes talk SME essentials brought to you by Tally Solutions. Welcome back, the show where we unpack the trends, technologies and transformations shaping small and medium businesses in the region. Now there's a buzzword in boardrooms and finance circles, e-invoicing. With the UAE preparing to roll this out, businesses are curious, cautious and in need of clarity. To help us decode what e-invoicing really means for your business and what lessons we can take from early movers like Saudi Arabia, we are joined by a powerhouse in the tax tech space, Ekansh Agrawal, tax technology consultant, a merit holder chartered accountant with 10 plus years of experience in indirect taxes and tax technology, currently working with KPMG UAE as a manager in the indirect tax team. Part of the indirect tax and e-invoicing implementation journeys across India, UAE, KSA, Bahrain and Oman, he has assisted 1,000 plus clients and trained 3,000 plus financial professionals on indirect taxes globally. An active member of tax strategy committees and has held leadership positions at ICAI and international bodies, an avid writer and speaker on tax and technology topics, host of the Walk the Talk podcast, where he interacts with inspiring people in the UAE to learn from their journeys outside of work. You will find him playing racket sports, creating content for his YouTube channel, spending time with family and giving back through not-for-profit initiatives. Ekansh, a pleasure to have you in our studios. Powerhouse ऐसे ही नहीं बोलते यार, आप तो कमाल के हो. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning and thank you for inviting me and I'm happy to be here. It's a dream come true moment. Always dreamt of being in a radio studio.
Live radio
Since childhood. And thank you to everyone who is listening in and hope I can transfer some knowledge in very layman terms on the recent buzzword. It's going to be a most searched term in the UAE in the days to come, which is e-invoicing.
Right.
And as you rightly mentioned, it has picked up traction in the last few months. Everyone is talking about it. Most finance professionals, if you speak to them, most tax professionals, CFOs, CEOs, they are most concerned about this new implementation that is going to go live next year, July 2026. That's the go live date, 1 July 2026. In order to understand e-invoicing, let us first understand what is an invoice.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what is an invoice, right? An invoice is a document that contains the details of goods and services that are being supplied by a supplier to a customer, right? So that invoice currently has like zillion types of formats in the UAE. So everyone is following their own system, whether they are extracting it from Tally, whether they are extracting it from any other, maybe Word, or they are creating it Excel. Some are making manual invoices.
Some are doing it on Canva also.
Yes, and some are not doing it at all.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yes.
बिल के साथ चाहिए तो इतना लगेगा, बिल के बिना इतना
Correct.
होगा.
So
So invoice और bill में फर्क होता है क्या?
No, so it's one and the same. I mean, it's interchangeably used. Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, if you go to some parts of Dubai, you may see some people offering you a lesser price if you don't get the invoice. Yeah, so that is a fundamental invoice. And now, what is an e-invoice? If you amass all of them, if you consolidate all of these invoices and make them standard, like imagine there is a digital passport of an invoice, which can be read by a machine and which has a streamlined structure to it. Right now, you see hundreds different types of structure to invoices. Maybe your company is issuing a different types of invoice. Maybe my company is issuing a different type of invoice. It may have a different layout. It may have a different template. Although the amount of information may be more or less same, but the structure are very different. So in order to structure all of them and make them machine readable and so that the government can perform certain analytics. As you know, the data is the new oil in this century, and every government is looking after understanding their country's data, right? So this is one of the objectives of introducing e-invoicing. I'll be discussing more objectives as we go along with the show. So just consider an invoice. So people have a misconception that just creating a digital copy of an invoice, like I have this paper with me, if I just scan it and send it to you on email, it's an e-invoice. No, it's not an e-invoice. E-invoice is supported by a proper language.
Okay.
It's typically in an XML format. you need to have a degree in computer science if you need to read through it.
Acha, acha.
So but I'm a hardcore finance and tax
Yeah.
professional, so I know the concept, but I cannot read through that XML language. It can only be read through by systems.
So Ekansh,
मेटा ग्लासेस के साथ भी नहीं पढ़ सकते.
yeah,
maybe Zuckerberg might introduce that
I'm
technology.
sure AI would have
And,
been, making it easier for people to e-invoice. Is that something that AI can do? That you feel that now things are going to change for invoicing, especially e-invoicing?
so the systems that the companies will be using
Yeah.
to generate e-invoices, they may have AIs inbuilt in them.
Okay.
So that is up to each company,
Right.
because they are also leveraging on AI tools now. If you are not leveraging on AI tools, then you are lagging behind. So as you rightly mentioned, AI will be one of the key contributors.
Okay.
And I'm sure you would have seen the recent news. UAE is planning to write laws with AI
Yeah,
in the
that's
future.
right.
So it's one of the first countries in the world. It's going to use AI to write laws,
For humans or for machines?
which will impact us. All these laws are going to impact us one way or the other.
Right. But
AI
humans are writing laws, giving instructions to the machine to so that it implies on the humans.
Of course, yeah. I mean, probably they are using the AI. Using the AI. So right now the procedure of law, how it goes, you may borrow certain laws and regulations from a neighboring country. Like India borrowed mostly their laws from UK.
Yeah.
So in order to leverage on all the countries in the world, you can use AI and hopefully implement something which helps everyone, because UAE is an international hub
Right.
that is home to almost 190 plus nationalities.
Correct.
So you cannot isolate yourself and make laws just for from a local perspective, right? You need to consider everyone on board. So probably AI could be a
Oh,
game
that's a-
changer.
So that brings me to the question as to why is now the right time for e-invoicing, especially for the UAE to introduce it?
So right time was yesterday, to be
Okay.
honest. But so I'm sure you would have seen in 2023, UAE announced their 2030 vision. The UAE 2031 vision.
Okay.
So as part of that vision, 5 key projects were announced. So two projects were, so one project was corporate tax, which has
Okay.
already been in place,
Yes.
and I'm sure you are hosting a lot of session on that. So that has already been in place. First return is going to be filed. It's already been filed, and for most businesses it will be filed in September this year. And the second main project was e-billing, which is
Okay.
e-invoicing. As you
Okay.
said, e-billing, e-invoicing is the same.
Okay.
So that was announced in 2023, and they have taken steps since 2023 to achieve to where we are today. So I'm sitting in your studio discussing about e-invoicing, which many people would not have thought of. Like we are used to your traditional invoicing. So now they have taken, in the last 6 months, the amount of steps they have taken, the Ministry of Finance. So this comes under the purview of Ministry of Finance, and not the Federal Tax Authority. People sometimes have this confusion. Okay, I'm discussing with FTA on e-invoicing. No, it's not FTA, it's Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
FTA is just a branch under the Ministry of Finance. So it's overall governed by the Ministry of Finance. This project.
Amazing. We'll continue the conversation. अगर आपके पास कोई भी सवाल, you can always send us a WhatsApp 0586861003. This is Talk SME Essentials, brought to you by Tally Solutions. The digital shift, lessons from Saudi Arabia, the outlook for UAE, and joining us is tax technology consultant Ekansh Agrawal. A pleasure to have you in our studios once again. और बहुत ही अच्छे से आपने समझा दिया about e-invoicing. Is there a format that each and everyone will need to follow going forward when it comes to e-invoicing, Ekansh?
Yes, it's a very important question, which is the need of the hour.
Did I jump the gun basically?
No,
Question number 10 मैंने पहले पूछ लिया.
नहीं, उसको 1 ही मानोगे. 1 + 0 is 1.
1 + 0.
So yeah, it's a very important question. So right now, if you see the invoice formats, so whenever we receive any invoice from our suppliers, it will have 10 to 15 fields, like supplier name, customer name, date of invoice, heading tax invoice, what I have received, so the amount of invoice, all these things. So currently there are almost 10 to 15 fields. It will increase to 50-60 fields when e-invoicing is introduced. Of course, some of these fields will be optional and some of these will be mandatory. So of course, yeah, so the format that we are currently using, it will undergo a substantial transformation in order to have those 50-60 fields incorporated And
will it be a web page or will it be a PDF or what is that going to be?
So that's quite like technical. Like you can still use your existing ERP system, whether it's Tally or whatever. So you can still use your existing ERP system to generate those invoices. However, you need to bring in those functionality to have those additional 40-50 fields. So do you have those functionalities? Have you already started discussions with your ERP vendors? So that is very relevant. And I mean, generating it in PDF does not make it an e-invoice. So you need to have it supported by a proper language, and you need to have it generated in XML format, which is machine readable. So machine should be able to read all invoices in the UAE in order to qualify as an e-invoice.
जैसे आपने कहा ना कि डिजिटल पासपोर्ट उसी तरह से होने वाला है ये पूरा. और ये जो शिफ्ट है ये लार्ज बिजनेसेस के लिए है या फिर only SMEs and freelancers they need to gear up as well?
Everyone who is registered for VAT and maybe some entities who are even not registered for VAT may be within the scope of e-invoicing.
Okay.
By that I mean and there could be phases, right? I mean they will initially bring in large corporates under the radar,
Okay.
and slowly and steadily they will bring in small and medium enterprises as well. So if you look at Saudi, what Saudi did, they followed a phased wise approach as well. But the phase wise approach was too long. Right now the 22nd phase is going on.
Okay.
So I'm not sure UAE will follow these many phases. Of course there will be phases, but I'm not sure there will be 22 or more phases, maybe 3-4, I don't know. But yes, you will have time to be able to get up to speed. So and there is a pilot module is also going on. So some entities in the UAE have been selected, very large corporations have been selected, handpicked by the Ministry of Finance to go live as pilot mode. Basically they will be testing e-invoicing on those large corporates. So very large corporates, so they are going with the pilot mode, and Ministry of Finance will understand how the system is going on, what are the what troubleshooting they need to do. So these entities have already started engaging vendors, consulting partners to help them in navigating the journey.
So Ekansh, how is the invoicing process expected to change for businesses? Can you break it down in simple terms for us? Like how has it changed over the course?
Invoicing process, it will remain the same.
Okay.
It's just that your ERP system first needs to be upgraded to cater to those additional data fields, and then you will need to appoint an accredited service provider. It's mandatory. Like unlike Saudi, where you had an option to onboard a service vendor in order to comply with e-invoicing, but here in the UAE, the UAE is going with a decentralized, I mean I'll go with some technical jargons. So 5-corner decentralized model.
Okay.
So which is not the same as what Saudi did. So in UAE it is, so tax authority does not want to be involved in the day-to-day exchange of invoices. In Saudi, every invoice goes through the tax authority portal. So that means if tomorrow the tax authority portal crashes, so your day-to-day invoicing will stop. So if your day-to-day invoicing stops, your business stops, which UAE wants to avoid.
Okay.
So that's why they are delegating the authority of approving and rejecting the e-invoices to certain third parties. So these third parties are currently being accredited as we are speaking. So accreditation process is going on.
Right.
These third parties have already applied for certification. So these third parties will be the torch bearers of e-invoicing in the UAE. Of course, tax authority will have real-time access to the third parties' databases, but essentially these third parties will be responsible for. So these third parties, every business will need to appoint one of these third parties. It's mandatory. Like you don't have an option. Unlike Saudi, you don't have an option. So many people have a misconception that I don't need to do anything. I will just plug in some tool in my ERP system and go live. No, you need to sign agreements with these third parties who will be ASPs, accredited service providers, and then move on with the journey.
क्या बात है, अभी तक सिर्फ थर्ड पार्टी इंश्योरेंस के बारे में सुना था, लेकिन यार
Third
ये
party
एजेंसी के बारे में तो कमाल का इन्फॉर्मेशन.
थर्ड पार्टी कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग भी करना
Yeah.
पड़ेगा.
नाउ मुसद्दीक का एक सवाल आया है, वो पूछ रहे हैं कि देयर आर वेंडर्स प्रोवाइडिंग मिडलवेयर टू कन्वर्ट द रेगुलर इनवॉइस टू ई-इनवॉइस. Ministry has authorized few vendors. Is this true?
First of all, there is no concept of. Thank you for the question. First of all, the concept of middleware does not exist in UAE.
Okay.
So all these terms are coming from Saudi. So
Okay.
that is why I was stressing on that we are not following Saudi model. It's completely different. In Saudi, any Tom, Dick and Harry could come with a tool and integrate with your system and
Achha.
start generating e-invoices.
Right.
Here only select parties, maybe 10, 15 at first.
Okay.
You will need to appoint those 10, 15 only. You cannot bring any middleware in between and start generating invoice. And if anyone is promising today that I am compliant, they are
Fooling you.
blatantly lying to your face, because no company has been certified to date formally. So right now, no one has been certified. If anyone is promising, okay, I am certified e-invoicing provider in the UAE, they are completely lying to you. A list will be issued by the Ministry of Finance in due course, so keep track on that.
Right.
And don't trust anyone except Ekansh, of course. Don't trust anyone
Yeah.
except the Ministry of Finance website.
Right.
So no other sources is official. Go to Ministry of Finance e-invoicing page and trust only that. Of course, you can call me separately. So that's the underlying idea.
Right, we've got another question from Mufaddal. Can I have inputs of tax consultant on whether company threshold of 50 million revenue bracket or less, they have to consider e-invoicing or not, and all registered companies should have it? Question mark.
So currently there is no threshold in the UAE. As I mentioned, every company will need to comply with this e-invoicing regime.
Achha.
Okay.
But
irrespective of your revenue, yeah,
irrespective of
corporate
your
tax,
revenue,
yeah.
but maybe based on your revenue, it will decide which phase you will be in. Whether you will start on 1 July 2026 or maybe you will start on 1 January 2027. So your turnover may be a key differentiator on that. But right now there is no news. Consider yourself. Assume yourself to be going live on 1 July and work backwards, and don't wait for the last day, I would say. So, and don't trust anyone commenting on these thresholds, timelines. Sorry, timelines is clear, but the phases. So there is no news as such. People are maybe just assuming based on what Saudi did. So currently there is no formal communication as to what threshold will go in phase 1 or what threshold will go in phase 2.
ये assumption बड़ा ही खतरनाक चीज है
Very,
यार.
very
ये
dangerous.
assumption पे हम कल जरूर बात करेंगे,
बिल्कुल.
टॉपिक जरूर
In
लेंगे.
detail.
If you have any questions, you can always send us a WhatsApp 0586861003.
ये तो हो गया about e-invoicing, the shift between normal invoicing to e-invoicing. Now let's move on to the real impacts on operations. Ekant, will companies need to invest in softwares, especially the new softwares and changes in their ERP systems to comply? And how does that work?
So that's basically the need of the hour right now. And as I mentioned, there will be a select third parties that will be accredited by the Ministry of Finance. Currently there is no list.
Nothing,
Of
okay.
course, in due course we will get that list. So once that list is issued, every company will need to onboard one of them. They can select, depending on their pricing, depending on the functionalities their tool is offering. So they will need to appoint them, sign NDAs with those companies, sign contracts with those companies. So that is that they will need to do.
Okay.
But before that also, like, since we do not have that list today,
Yeah.
and we need to do something today also, like, you may engage a consulting partner right now, because your system is not 100% ready to be aligned with those third parties. So there are a lot of breaks, there are a lot of missing data right now in most companies ERP master data. So it's an opportunity for these companies to also find out what are the gaps in their existing ERP system and plug those before going and onboard an ASP, basically an accredited service provider.
Right. Ekansh, what does e-invoicing mean in terms of sales, purchasing accounts and finance departments? And are there any day-to-day routines in terms of changes that they make significantly in their business?
So the changes will, I mean, once everything has been implemented and the solution has been onboarded onto your ERP system, the processes will largely remain the same.
Okay.
Like operation guy doesn't need to bother about e-invoicing.
Yeah.
Like he can simply issue purchase orders or receive or issue sales orders. The fact that there must be proper alignment between all these teams.
Okay.
In today's time, I mean, one of the key problems is people don't speak to each other, right?
Right.
So there must be a proper communication between sales teams, purchase teams, operations team, finance teams,
Yeah.
IT teams. It's not a one team job.
Right.
Everyone has to be kept in loop
Uh-huh.
because everyone will have a different expectation. You cannot simply keep operations team isolated and implement something, because ultimately they are the ones running the business.
Right.
They are the backbone.
They are the backbones. Finance and IT teams are only cost centers.
Correct.
If you stop the revenue center, then your business, I mean, how will you pay for that e-invoicing software? So there must be a proper communication. They must be kept in loop of all the important conversations regarding e-invoicing.
Okay.
So that there are no hurdles when e-invoicing is introduced. Imagine you are going live on 1 July 2026,
Right.
and your customer is asking for an invoice,
Right.
and you are fighting among yourself, all the teams, okay, how can I generate, how do I send it? So
Right.
all these issues you want to avoid.
Right.
Of course there will be certain transition teething issues,
Right.
but yeah, if you can avoid them and be ready.
बट ऑल्सो यू नो स्मॉल मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस की अगर बात करें, उनके पॉइंट से अगर हम देखें तो उनके लिए तो इतने लार्ज टीम्स, इतने डेडिकेटेड डिपार्टमेंट्स नहीं है. हाउ शुड दे अप्रोच दिस, एकांश?
I think one man or woman will have to step up and
मतलब अकाउंट्स भी वही कर रहे, सेल्स भी
Will
वही
have
कर
to
रहे,
take up the
रिसेप्शन पे
mantle.
भी वही
someone will
बैठे
have to take the mantle and
Yeah.
be the, you know, and
Sheet
and
anchor.
करता धरता.
karta dharta, and maybe they can, yeah, and so I mean they can leverage on the existing tools like
Right.
Tally.
Yeah.
Probably will have already these functionalities.
That's right.
So your life is easy then.
Yeah. So I mean, since I've been seeing Tally since the time I started my chartered accountancy journey back in 2012, and this was the first tool I used like during my internship articleship
Wow.
days, and we have seen the evolution of Tally over the years, right?
Right.
So it's like, it's not considered, I mean, people sometimes mistake it for a traditional accounting tool.
Okay.
So you
It's
can,
much more,
it's
yeah.
much more now. You can perform a lot of analytics, inventory management, you can generate returns, it populates returns.
That's
so
wonderful.
it makes your life easy, and I think the main fundamental reason for e-invoicing is to understanding your data. So imagine I have 10 bank accounts. I don't have, but imagine I have 10 bank accounts.
Right.
If I don't have track on my 10 bank accounts, on my spending patterns,
Correct.
at the end of the month, if I don't have that analysis prepared,
Correct.
how can I make future decisions?
यार ये
If-
बहुत important
Yeah.
point है एकांश,
Yeah.
and this is for small and for large
Yeah.
also to
Yeah.
actually you know पूरा का पूरा information जो है ना,
Right.
ताकि they make better decisions.
Of course.
Even if they have good intentions.
Yeah. So today, I mean, UAE is a land of opportunities, right? Every day you will get 10 schemes. I think.
That's true.
Correct.
People may, like, you have real estate opportunities, you have business opportunities, you have different sort of opportunities. If you don't have an eye on your finances, how can you leverage, how can you exploit those opportunities? So it was paramount for UAE, if you want to be on the front runner of the world, you need to have a control on your GDP.
That's right.
So right now GDP is there,
Yeah.
but there is a shadow economy operating where everything is happening in cash. There are a lot of frauds happening. So because I do it on a daily basis, I come across a lot of frauds where people are not raising proper invoices. They are simply raising manual invoices and not paying tax to the tax authority.
इसको हम ग्रे मार्केट बोलते हैं.
Yeah.
Black and white से खरीदो. अच्छा.
black ही है. So these markets are so they're called a shadow economy. So
Yeah.
one of the objectives of e-invoicing is to tap that shadow economy, and second is the government will understand everything about every business.
Best.
Okay, this radio show invited Ekansh. Probably they will get to know through your documents.
That's right.
They will have visibility on each and everything, and using that data, they can then go to the international organizations. Okay, this is what, maybe today they don't have all the tools available. They don't have all the information available.
Right.
They will be more prepared. They will be more ready and
Right, yeah.
robust,
Empowered yeah.
to present their case.
Correct.
Okay, I have like 100,000 companies in
Absolutely.
in the country,
Yeah.
and out of this 100,000, 30% are in manufacturing. There are like 40 plus free zones. So out of those free zones, these entities are spread across mainland. So
Right. So एक e-invoicing से आप बोल रहे हो कि
Everything.
पूरा का पूरा skeleton आ जाएगा.
पूरा skeleton, मेरी GDP कितना is contributed by service sector, how much is contributed by manufacturing. I
Wow.
mean, today also it's there, but it's not to an extent true. But with e-invoicing, you can expect to an extent it's true.
So it
Right.
streamlines your business also,
So ये
right?
mandatory
completely.
होने वाला
It's
है.
mandatory, and
1st July
it's going
से.
to be a game changer. 1 July 2026,
Right.
and it's going to be a game changer for the UAE.
I love the fact that how the e-invoicing is going to streamline all businesses. But more importantly, we've got some more questions coming on.
Right. So एक दो questions है उसके बाद the news and sports. Ali का question, sometime happens clerical error हो जाता है और invoice like price of the item or wrong item selected, or sometime the customer doesn't accept the goods, then how to cancel the e-invoice?
So the system that you're currently following for such errors and mistakes, which is issuance of a credit note.
Okay.
So whenever you issue an invoice, and if there are certain errors in that, then you issue a credit note, tax credit note. If it is a if there is a tax invoice, then the same system will apply.
Okay.
If you want to make certain corrections to an e-invoice,
Yeah.
you will have to issue a tax credit note. So
So
that's
basically supermarket में change नहीं होता तो candy पकड़ा देते हैं, वही है.
तो इसमें भी एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा कि supermarkets are not within the scope of e-invoicing.
Oh.
So as
तो candy पकड़ाते रहेंगे.
so you will still getting candies for all the change. The current scope of e-invoicing is only business to business and
Okay.
business to government. So any business to consumer supplies like these supermarkets, Carrefour, Lulu, restaurants. So all these businesses are not supposed to comply right now.
Okay.
So they don't need to do anything. If you're only doing B2C, basically business to consumer supplies. So all the supermarkets, they don't need to comply with the invoicing right now. Only business to business.
Right. कुछ और सवाल है लेकिन आप हम न्यूज और स्पोर्ट्स की तरफ जा रहे हैं. If you have any questions for एकांश हमारे साथ in the studio, this is Talk SME Essentials brought to you by Tally Solutions. You can send a WhatsApp 0586861003. What a power pack conversation हो रहा है इस वक्त एकांश अग्रवाल के साथ, and we are talking about e-invoicing. So many questions. एकांश एकदम ही super popular हो गए. आप क्या आपने expect किया था कि आज ऐसे सारे सवाल आएंगे आपको?
I didn't expect it, to be honest, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are interested because as you mentioned previously, it's become a buzzword in the UAE, and I'm glad people are taking it serious and happy to have transitioned some knowledge to all of them, and yeah.
So वीरेंद्र का सवाल ये है कि who will bear the expenses of third party onboarding and consultants? Why should business bear it as already there are so many expenses?
I agree that there are already lot on your plate. You have corporate tax going on, changes in VAT. There are all other regulatory compliances going on. The cost will have to be unfortunately borne by the company itself.
Okay.
But consider it as an investment. I would say do not consider it as a cost, because there will be a lot of opportunities on account of implementing e-invoicing. Right now, your organization may be having payment delays on account of maybe delaying the invoices to your customers, or maybe issuing wrong invoices, and they are like back and forth communication with the customer. Oh, you didn't mention my correct name, you didn't mention my correct tax registration number. All these problems will be eliminated, which will eventually be a benefit to your organization, right? Because ultimately you will have cash flow coming in fast.
That's true.
Because today I see, like, on a daily basis, can you review this invoice? If it is correct, can I claim input on this? All these problems are more or less will be eliminated, and it will yield results to your organization for which you need to pay a small cost at this stage.
Right. एक और सवाल हमें आया है. So initially, is there any news on threshold or deadline for activation or implementation of e-invoicing? Naseeb का ये सवाल. I think he joined late.
Okay, thank you, Naseeb. So there is no threshold as such prescribed right now, but the deadline is go live date is 1 July 2026.
एक और वॉइस नोट हमें अहमद का आया है, तो क्विकली हम सुन लेते हैं उनका सवाल क्या है.
Nikita, good morning, and good morning to your guest as well. I just wanted to ask that how we can register as a company for the e-invoicing, like through the Ministry of Finance. What is the process? Like if I want among the companies who are going to issue the e-invoice, so what is the process for that to become a e-invoice issuance company in UAE? Thank you.
If you're talking about generating e-invoices for your own company, then you don't need to register anywhere.
Okay.
You don't need to do anything as such for now.
Okay.
But once the list of accredited service providers is issued, you will need to onboard one of them. There is no registration as such required, which was required for VAT and corporate tax. But if you are asking to become an accredited service provider for the country,
Right.
like if you want to generate e-invoices for other companies, then yes, there is go to the Ministry of Finance e-invoicing page. There is a link which will guide you to the registration page, and then you need to submit that form.
So Ekansh, if you're talking about compliances, are there any compliance penalties or grace periods involved for a company if they are not ready in time for e-invoicing?
So penalties, they have not yet released the legislation.
Okay.
Of course, they may
ये
introduce.
कैसे नहीं हुआ यार अभी तक penalties? वो तो पहले आ जाता है कि अगर आपने ये
Usually-
नहीं किया तो इतना फाइन लगेगा.
They're still waiting on people to take it serious, but I think they are waiting on penalties to take it more serious. But of course, KSA, the Saudi also had penalties introduced.
Right.
But I believe the tax authority, the ministry will be quite lenient
Okay.
in the initial stages. They will give soft nudges in the beginning. Okay,
Right.
do that. Otherwise, you may have these consequences. So for now, no penalties have been announced.
Okay.
But of course, there will be consequences of any.
एंड यू डिड मेंशन एकांश कि यार सऊदी अरेबिया में जो मॉडल चल रहा है फेज नंबर 22, ये तो कैच 22 की तरह ही हो गया. बट यहाँ पे यूएई में द अप्रोच इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. इफ यू कुड हाईलाइट अ लिटिल मोर ऑन दैट.
So approach is completely different in the sense that we may not have those many phases. Most companies will
मॉडल सेम है.
model will also is completely different.
Okay.
अच्छा.
So tax authority will not be involved at all in generating and approving invoices. It will be these third parties who will be accredited service providers. A list will be issued. So tax authority will not be involved at all. You will mandatorily need to appoint one of those third parties. Mandatory. Mark my words, mandatory. People take it serious. People don't take it seriously. Okay, we will follow Saudi model. Before the go live, we will just plug in our tool. So and then get ready. But no, you need to, because these third parties are not going to be many, and they will have a lot of people approaching them. So it's better to start approaching as soon as the list is issued, or maybe before, because informally what organizations will be certified from their experiences globally.
So are there any common misconceptions or myths about e-invoicing that you'd like to bust today on air?
I think most of them we have already discussed, like the model will be same as Saudi,
Right.
and
The format also.
Format will also be same as Saudi. I don't need to appoint mandatorily anyone. Other myths you can
Streamlining of the business, right? I mean, if you're going to follow the old platform of
Yeah.
the old invoicing patterns.
and the misconception considering a digital PDF as an e-invoice, which is also
Right.
not the case. So these are mostly the misconceptions.
So as a business owner जो सुन रहे हैं या people working in that department, what should they start doing immediately to get ready?
So start engaging a tax consulting partner right now.
Okay.
Engage conversations with them in order to understand what are the gaps in your systems and what it needs to align with the third party service provider. So there are lot of issues. If tax authority starts auditing each and every business, it's going to be a gold mine for tax authority, because people are simply applying any VAT rate, any issuing any sort of format of invoice right now, and they're not mentioning correct details in the VAT return. So there are a lot of issues currently which needs to be fixed before you integrate with a service provider.
So as a tax consultant के साथ उन्होंने बात की, and then they got more information. But are there any government or industry resources which are available for a better understanding and to adopt e-invoicing?
As I mentioned, don't trust anything except Ministry of Finance e-invoicing page.
उनके website पे.
उनके website, people are posting their own dossiers and everything. I don't know how to an extent, because see, we need to debunk the myth that it's not the same as Saudi.
Right.
People are promoting themselves, coming from Saudi to UAE, saying we have done e-invoicing in Saudi, we have done e-invoicing. UAE is one of the only countries which is going with this decentralized five-corner model. There are a handful of countries which are following this model, maybe Belgium and next Singapore. So UAE is one of the only countries which is going with this decentralized, because they want to treat it like blockchain, right? They don't want to be involved. Let the blockchain do the work. I will only get data from blockchain. It's like a public architecture they're bringing, they don't want to be in control of that architecture. Just leave it to the public to play it out.
And to the algorithm.
And to the algorithm. Hopefully no one is able to hack into that. And I'm sure there will be a super strong cyber security in place.
Yeah. And also, where do you see UAE heading in terms of digital tax and regulatory transformation over the next 3 to 5 years?
This is one of the key the steps that they are taking, e-invoicing. And I think in the next 3-4 years, we can see UAE, it will be easier for the UAE to conduct easier audits. Like audits will be easier. They will have real-time access to information. They know which targets to, which sectors to target, which information to look into.
Right.
And so it will. Right now, there are a lot of manual processes. Ministry also has to go through, to generate reports. And as I mentioned, they will have good visibility into their country's data, GDP, sectors, and all of that. So, of course, this is going to be a game changer for the country as a whole.
So, Ekansh, what's your one key message to finance teams and business owners preparing for this shift?
I would say act now. And before it's too late. Don't wait for the last. Don't wait for the last date. And act now.
But beyond compliance, is there and can e-invoicing, unlock any operational and strategic advantages for the companies?
Yes, as I mentioned previously, the problems of correcting invoicing and delays in payments from customers because invoices are not delivered on time.
Yeah.
So to avoid all these problems will to an extent be eliminated. So you may have streamlined payment mechanism, eliminating the customer problems, revisiting the invoicing, revising the VAT returns. All these problems will be eliminated, and you will be generating invoices that will give you a good analytics, because with the e-invoicing you will have opportunity to develop MIS dashboards on your ERP system. I'm sure like Tally also has MIS dashboard which will give you data about your business. Last trend analysis. I paid this much tax last month. This month is this month. So trend analysis you can perform. So all these things. So don't, as I mentioned, don't consider the initial cost as cost. Consider it as an investment. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But for e-invoicing, I just wanted to ask for MSMEs and the large companies. But for freelancers, how does it go with e-invoicing?
So I'm also a freelancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do some content creation
on YouTube.
On YouTube, so you can.
What's your YouTube handle?
You can follow my channel, An Imperfect Guy.
Oh.
Achha.
So I post podcast. Recently started this content creation journey.
Right.
So I have access to a lot of inspiring people. So I thought, why not? We have conversations behind closed doors.
Right.
Why not make those conversations public?
Absolutely.
Correct.
And if I can help even 1,000 people gain something from those conversations.
1,000 थोड़ा बड़ा number नहीं होता.
But something that
एक
freelancers.
दो was okay.
now that you're a freelancer, you can tell us better. How do you better e-invoice?
So first, as a freelancer, you need to understand if you need to get a license. If you are generating funds, then probably you need to get a license from the relevant authority, and then you need to understand if you need to be registered for VAT. If you cross that $100,000 threshold, then you need to be registered for VAT, and then eventually you will also need to comply with e-invoicing.
Okay.
Amazing. Ekansh, it was such a wonderful conversation. एक rapid fire होगा आपके साथ, लेकिन उसके पहले
Of course.
सारे entrepreneurs, small business leaders, ये आपको जानना चाहिए कि Tally MSME Honors 2025 is here. It's bigger than ever. It's in its 5th edition. This is not just another award show. It's a global celebration of courage, creativity, and impact of MSMEs. From solo warriors to seasoned business minds, there's a category for every kind of change maker. Wonder Woman for women-led powerhouses, rewriting the business playbook, Tech Transformer for the early tech adopters driving innovation.
There's also ePreneur Icon, which is for solo entrepreneurs making a mark across the UAE. There's a new Gen Icon, the fearless founders of tomorrow's unicorn. There's also a category called Business Maestro for those who've led with resilience and heart. So if you're listening and thinking that sounds like me, or if you know someone who deserves the spotlight, Google Tally MSME Honors, head to the MENA page and send in your nominations, because recognition isn't about trophy, it's about your story inspiring thousands more.
In fact, we've got Jatinder Singh Paji हमारे साथ. सत श्री अकाल. Good morning, Jatinder Paji. Good morning.
Good morning.
जी, आपने जीता था पिछले साल और बहुत बहुत बधाई उस पे.
Congratulations.
बताइए about MSME Honors, your experience, and why should every business leader or entrepreneur or a small business owner be a part of Tally MSME Honors?
Most genuine and one of the most recognizable award in the Middle East. We've been operating in UAE from the last 10 years and more. And this was the first award we got last year, and we nominated a year back. And it gives a lot of motivation, a lot of positive energy that, okay, we have to go and grow more within this region. They have a different categories, and each category, when I saw on the stage, the people come from very different background, how they grow the business, how they put so much of positive energy to bring it to the next level. And that recognition says, okay, we have spent so many years in this part of the world, and then this recognition comes from a company which is regulating and checking all the basics of each organization, and each organization got a lot of footage in terms of new connections, new growth, new joint ventures, and it is very important for each SMEs to go and register themselves and see and try their best submission.
Right, but also there's an option for nomination as well. आपने किसी को nominate किया है इस बार के लिए 2025, और आपके दिमाग में सोच रहे हैं कि किसे हम nominate करें, क्योंकि मेरे पास कुछ suggestions है.
You are around with the people who are done so much more, started from the ground level and bring it to the next level. And I always say it's not necessary to look at all the legends around you. Sometimes you see there are people who are much younger and they come from a very ground level and they reach so much in their life and they are like an inspiration by itself. But that has to come to people around the UAE, and their recognition has to be there. And if they have done such a hard work, they should be the right people to nominate and see, put their best.
Right. अच्छा जतिंदर पाजी, we are living in this age of technology and AI, और जो आपके प्रोफाइल और प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं, कंपाइल कर सकते हैं, तो कौन सा जनरेटिव AI हम यूज करें ताकि हम अपने बिजनेस के बारे में प्रॉपर्ली इसे प्रेजेंट कर सके फॉर टैली MSME Honors?
Of course, AI is again our own way of using a tool. But then we have a lot of our own basic background, like AI started just a year back, 2 years back, 3 years back. But there are people who have started some work 10 years back. So I always say, write your story where you started, how you went to the next level, then how you are going to the next level. So there are many options now available, but it's good to write a complete story, then people can understand what were the challenges you were facing in stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and that.
Amazing. And also a quick tip to all the business owners and small business owners as well on how to win this, because you are a winner.
First is be genuine, write your complete story. In fact, a lot of people, they start with a very hardship in the beginning stage as a startup. So it's good to get recognized based on the complete story. People see our success, but they don't see when we started 10 years back, what scale we were in, starting with a small office, a 2-desk place, and then now making a warehouses, making a bigger office. So there is a journey involved in it. And then we got recognition outside UAE as well. But within UAE, getting a recognition, connecting with the like-minded people, more business potential, communicating well within the networking group, it's very important. Complete journey, list all your achievements you have done and also your hardship what you have faced.
And lastly, Tally MSME Honors 2025, क्या कहना चाहोगे इसके बारे में आप जितेंद्र जी?
Most important award to get recognized, to submit your best nominees and try to be part of it and try to win it. All the best wishes to all the people who are nominating and who are submitting their forms.
मैंने सुना है कि इस बार उर्वशी रौटेला भी आ रही है for a performance. Not Tally MSME Honors, I'm talking about. On a lighter note.
But Jatinder ji, for your nomination, when you file in your nomination, what is the easiest trick that you could share with people? Something with regards to their accolades, what they have done in the past in their industry that needs to be also mentioned.
Well, where everybody is so much charged up that they are doing very innovative ideas and very hard work to grow more, and everybody looking out for a growth. But again, I always say, see your uniqueness. Like within your industry, you are doing something unique, which is coming up to this part of the world, and you have introduced it. So use all the key points which are add-on when you see, like, you have an edge on your competitor. There might be similar companies nominating, but you have to see what exclusivity you have, what creative innovation you have. That is the way can take you a next level up.
Superb, Jatinder Paji, it was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much and congratulations on Tally MSME Honors पिछले साल, and all the best to the nominees for this year. Thank
More
you.
power to you. Thank you.
And it's time for Rapid Fire with Ekansh.
This is the most informative and the most fun part of the entire Tally Solutions MSME जब हम करते हैं sessions, the rapid fire round. So Ekansh, are you ready?
Yeah, excited.
So one word or a quick phrase, okay? PDF invoices or email? Tax it or trash it?
Trash it.
Okay. Spreadsheets for accounts, still okay?
Not okay.
AI in tech, fade or future?
It's the future.
Future feature as an e-invoicing system?
Favorite
one.
Okay. I would say instant approval and
Instant
rejection.
approval.
Yeah.
Okay. And compliance, burden, opportunity?
It's an opportunity.
Great. And let me just move on. Karak chai या फिर coffee?
I prefer black coffee.
Very good.
रात को
Interesting यार.
फिर नींद आती है क्या?
फिर भी आ जाती है पता नहीं.
You were very nice
नहीं
यार.
कौन-
एकदम फटाफट अपने rapid fire answer किया. A lot of people do take some time.
नहीं वो मुझे लगता है कि ज़्यादा टाइम लोगे then it takes away the
Essence
fun
of it,
aspect of it.
yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Ekansh, it was wonderful having you in our studios. How can people get in touch with you? I know कि आपका YouTube channel है जहाँ पे लोग can connect. An imperfect guy, ये आपका YouTube channel
channel है.
But other than this, आप अपना मोबाइल नंबर देना चाहोगे सब?
I would
Spot पे
rather
डाल दिया. Just kidding.
I would rather give my LinkedIn so they can follow me. They can connect me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Ekansh Agrawal.
Okay.
So AGRA. So sometimes people get confused with the Agrawal double G AGAR.
So Agrawal है.
It's Agrawal.
Oh, now we know it.
So Agrawal.
Okay.
So Ekansh Agrawal, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and I will happy to and then get in touch
Yeah.
and then take the conversation forward. I hope I was able to be of some help on a Monday morning. I know it's going to be a busy week for everyone, so yeah, best of luck to everyone.
Thank you, Ekansh. Wonderful having you in the studios, and we look
Thank you
forward
for
to having
having
you
me.
more sessions. All
Looking
the best.
forward.
This
Thank
is
you.
Talk SME Essentials brought to you by Tally Solutions. सुनते रहिए, and a quick reminder, Tally Solutions की वेबसाइट पे जाइए, MSME Honors के बारे में और जानिए and nominate कीजिए.